right to the sight sex. Leave the fire and remove style stuff. I on that grind like we're chasing the stars. From Millmore to Du Valley, we've come so far. Talk about legends, yeah, we know the score. Ronnie and Bobby, we remember you more. From the highs of the Wembley fight to losing our trousers, still we ignite. Red and white with the pride, we're never gonna bow. Fighting like middlemen, hear the roar now. We're middlemen, we stand up tall. Through ups and downs, we give it all. From Millmore to Du Valley.
Good evening and welcome to Terrace Talk. We're back tonight with a win over our small neighbours from across the road in Barnsley. Great strike from Kian Spence. I've got Bez with us tonight. How you doing, Bez?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing well.
Good, man. And I've got the legend, Carpets Tom. How you doing,
Carpets!
Tom?
Yeah, really good. A fantastic win, albeit not a convincing performance, but we'll get into that shortly.
Super. Well, I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to start with Bez. You wasn't overly convinced with the performance, so I'm going to start with you, Bez. So give us your take on the game.
Yeah, so I'll start with the game then. First off, there were only one team who looked like scoring. The McGoldrick post, obviously, the other side to us, so we couldn't really see it very well. But I've watched it back, and I actually don't know how he misses because it's not as if like it's a really tight angle and he's trying to squeeze it in. It looks to me like he's just got to head it into net and he like misheads it and hits post and goes wide. So that should have been 1-0 after 2 minutes.
He's about 200 years old, though, isn't he?
I don't, well, I'll come on to Goldrick later, actually, because we'll talk about it now. So, when Barnsley signed McGoldrick, I turned around to Rotherham fans, like my Rotherham mates, and I said, do you know what? I think that's not a great signing. He's really old. He's obviously come from Notts County or League Below, and he did all right there, but he weren't excellent. I'll be honest, I was really impressed with him, actually, on Saturday. I know they didn't score Barnsley, I know he missed that chance, but he's so clever. The way he drops into that number 10 role and he kept picking balls up, and there were ones where he made one of our players. He really is clever. So I wish we had him on our side, I'm not going to lie. But anyway, back to the game. So first off, it were all Barnsley for me. I don't know how they've not scored. I suppose Dawson's kept us in it a little bit. Second off, we've obviously made a couple of changes. Now, Rotherham couldn't get anywhere for me in second half, and I think they did improve slightly. But where I'm worried is, you look at the stats now, I've watched and I've seen a few people say how good Rotherham were or what have you, and I have to say, Callum Fowler, I know he's going to get a lot of hate on this tonight. I don't agree with anything he says, but he's on his video, he's put a picture of the stats up and he's gone through the stats. And I actually have to agree with him. That if I'm a neutral and I'm watching that game, I'm thinking there's only one team who looks like getting top 6 and one team that looks like they're near the bottom, and that's Rotherham near the bottom. I worry that our quality of our players, because I think they are quality, are getting the manager out of trouble. We've not had a clear-cut chance. The goal's a 20-25-yard half volley. So, yeah, I'm actually more concerned now than I was before the win, because we rely on players to win the game for us rather than the manager out-tactic in the other manager. So, yeah, I'm more worried than I am happy, to be honest with you. I know that's a hard thing to say after a 1-0 win against a team we've not won 55 years. And, of course, in that time, Rotherham's got unlucky when they should have beaten Barnsley. They should have beaten Barnsley when Victor Johansson got nearly knocked out by Colton Morris. So, they deserve this bit of luck, to be fair. But, yeah, I'm just concerned more than anything. I'm sorry to say it, but I really am concerned.
Just go through some comments. Love how you've rattled the Barnsley fans. Yeah, they seem a bit on edge to the Barnsley fans. Can't wait for tonight's show. So I'll just break down what you've said, Bez. So we'll start with Dizzy. He actually goes to my gym in Nottingham. So he was at Notts County. He's a decent player, but he's well past his best. He's not the Dizzy that was at Sheffield United by any stretch of the imagination. That's why he's playing for Barnsley.
I agree with that, yeah.
You kind of find your level at that age, and obviously he's found it in Barnsley. I thought he was awful, if I'm totally honest. I mean, Dan Gore, I think he was in the second half, beat him and sent him back to Sheffield United, rolled all his years back. Just absolutely. I think he's probably still on the pitch now looking for ball. That much Dan Gore sold him. So regarding the performance, I do get what you're saying. I don't think by any stretch of the imagination we played absolute brilliant. However, we was playing Barnsley. We didn't need to get out of second gear, let's be honest, because I can't think of a decent save that Cam Dawson had to make. They're the home side, if you remember. They've got to come at us. We played counter-attack football, and it's a perfect away performance. Now, if we don't win the game, people then will judge Hampshire because it had to work, because we only had one tactic, and it was to sit in deep from the start. So I kind of agree where he said we sat in deep. I definitely don't agree Barnsley will not finish in the top 10, let alone the top 6. I don't even think they're anywhere near good enough.
I don't think they will. I'm just saying, if you're a neutral and you have to choose between both sides, one's going to get top 6 and one's going to get bottom 6. I think you'd choose Barnsley because they looked.
I disagree with you on that one. I don't think either look like they'd get top 6 on that performance, because they're as poor as what we was. And I think a Barnsley fans come on here from the Barnsley fanzine. He said 2 ordinary third-tier teams. Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think that's a fair assessment. Yeah. As a Barnsley fan, he's come on and said it was 2 ordinary teams. This league is absolute garbage. Yeah. So I'm not gonna brag that we've beat Barnsley, because we could have lost the game as well. The fact is that league is so bad. I have never known a League One so poor in my life as has ever been in it. I've never think that league is good enough. And that's why I still believe Rotherham can get promoted, can get the playoffs this season, because it is that bad. And like you said, when you've got Dan Gore, he is the best midfielder in League One by an absolute country mile. There's not even a player even close to being as good as him at that level. Not even close. That lad will play top-end Championship football or bottom-end Premiership football. He won't play for Man United. He's not good enough for that level, but he is definitely good enough for a Middlesbrough, a Sheffield United, a top-end sort of Championship team. Lewis says Barnsley will finish 14th if they're lucky. Yeah, I think Barnsley are very much like most teams in this league, very much like a Mansfield. They could finish anywhere between 16th and 10th, but they're nowhere near touching top 6.
So, okay. So my question to yourself then would be, right, and I agree, by the way, I think we all agree that the quality Rotherham have, if you went through each individual player Rotherham had, I'd say all of them have got a bit of quality somewhere in their play. So, for example, Marta, he's quite skillful. He can beat him and he can show off, like, do tricks and stuff like that. Dango's got a lot of things. He can win the ball, pass, whatever. So why then have Barnsley dominate possession, right? And yet, before you say anything, I know that doesn't mean anything, but they've dominated possession and they've also had, 15 shots to our 4. So what I'm trying to say is, why can't we have 59% possession? Why can't we attack and have 20 shots? And I'd rather win that way than what we're doing. If we do that, then we've got a better chance of winning the game. The more shots you have, the more goals you're going to score. If we carry on, I guarantee if we only have 4 shots every single game, we won't score 50 goals this season. That's what I'd say.
And you're right, Bez. It is a concern that we're not playing fluid football. So everybody will point to the fact that we've won 3 or 4 games, and you'll see them happy clappers, like berating people because we've actually won games. But I'm not going to be over here praising everything as though everything's rosy in the garden. I'm not licking Amshaw's arse because I still don't think he's great tactically. I don't think that 15th in the league after this amount of games is acceptable. I still don't think it is. But I will give the credit where credit's due. We have won the games, so you can only go on what you see. So I've seen us win the games. He has made substitutions in games that have actually improved the team.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So he wasn't doing that previously, so the substitutes wasn't making us better. Obviously, now we've got players back fit. He's got a much better squad to pick. But I still question his team selection at the weekend. I don't know why we're playing Powell out of position, because he's out of form. He's not playing that well. And he doesn't get in ahead of Kean Spence and Dangor. So for me, he needs to sit on the bench, play players in the correct position, and be more adventurous. Because I believe if we'd have actually gone to Barnsley and stuck it to them, we'd have probably beat them 3 or 4-0.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying, though. That's what I'm trying to say, though.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you. But at the same token, we've got the win. That's what we went for. We came, we conquered, and we left. That's it. You know what I mean? So it's fantastic that we're winning games. Tom, what was your sort of take on the game before we start running through player ratings?
All right, gents. Yeah, I completely agree with both of you, to be honest with you. Look, I mean, what I will say is that we've gone away to Oakwell and we've won for the first time since, was it 1969? Man hadn't been on the moon at that point, so allegedly, as somebody said last night. But look, an away win's an away win. Am I happy with the performance? Not really. Have we turned a corner? We're on a half turn, I think. And Bez messaged the group the other day. Well, yesterday, I believe. Well, today actually. I think that Oldham Virtue Trophy game was massive for Matt Hamshaw, because I firmly believe, and I agree with Bez, that if he'd lost that, he'd have probably lost his job. Hence, he put the big guns on at half time.
Yeah,
a last minute winner, and maybe something like that, a divine intervention, has helped us on. Is Adam coming on tonight, Lee?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, anyway, Adam's been piping up, hasn't he? Listen, look, first half we weren't great. Second half, Hamshaw makes some changes. And yeah, we win the game. We won the game by a fantastic goal scored by Spence, right? Had he not struck that sweetly, it'd have probably been a 0-0 draw, or dare I say it, a 1-0 loss. But we won. We won away. We won back-to-back away games, which is unheard of for us, for a very long time. Am I going to give Hamshaw credit? Yeah, I'm going to give Hamshaw credit. I'm going to give the players credit. Yes, I'm going to give the players credit. They are quite clearly playing for the manager. However, let's see where we are. I think we've got 4 home games on the bounce now, I think. We've got Man City tomorrow, haven't we?
Yeah, with the cup, yeah.
We've got Man City, then we've got Swindon, then we've got Burton, is it? And then we've got Lincoln. Right? If he wins all 4 of them games, I'll do a shirt topless. Right? So listen.
We're trying to get viewers here, so I'm not scare them off, mate.
well, listen, let's
just go through some. I'll go through some comments. Big Jim, I agree with Powell. He's not a starter for me. And Pete Scott also agree Powell should be on the bench.
Let's talk about Powell, actually, because what I would say is, and I don't know if you two saw this, but the formation that he started with, he has started his formation a couple of times in the past, and it's actually a 3-4-3. So you've got your 3 centre backs, your 2 wing backs. He's got 2 midfielders, and he's got like a right winger who was like Marta, left winger who was Benson, and then Hugo up top. So first of all, you've got Williams out of position. You've got Rafferty out of position. You've got Joe Powell out of position. You've arguably got Josh Benson out of position. There's 4 players there. That's nearly half the side, because that concerns me as well. Like, I think Powell played because there was no one else to play left wing back. I know James was on the bench, but I assume he weren't fit enough to start the game. So that's why he played there. And the other one, Benson, worries me a little bit because he's not a left winger. And every time he started left wing, Barnsley away, I think not Northampton, it was another game anyway. Every time he starts off left wing, he gets wrought off after like 60 minutes. He did again. So if you're not going to play Benson in midfield, then don't play him. That does frustrate me.
I think he's trying to get sort of Spence. He's trying to get them all into the midfield. For me, I would have dropped McWilliams.
He played really well, McWilliams. Really well,
yeah,
I thought.
He did, but that's who would miss out. And Powell for me. I'd play Gore and Spence in that midfield.
Yeah, we started with 6 centre midfielders. 6. McWilliams.
Yeah, so he's kind of trying to shoehorn them all into the same side, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the issue. Right, so we're going to go on to the player ratings. So just bear with me with this because just need to get this up here. So obviously, when you look at it, you've got Dan Dawson, 8.8. He was the man of the match. Do we agree with that, guys? Are we happy with Dawson as man of the match, the goalkeeper?
Well,
I can't remember a good save he made.
Right, so what Dawson did do really well, which he very rarely does, is there were 2 or 3 times where we were under pressure at 1-0 and he come to collect the ball from a corner or a free kick. So for that, he does get a high rating. He didn't make a world-class save. He did make a couple of saves that were straight at him, and that were it. So I think he deserves an 8, but I won't go any higher than that personally.
Yeah, I think what's impressed me most about Dawson recently is he is coming out for crosses, which he weren't before. Yeah. He seems a lot more confident. He is coming, catching the ball as well, not just punching it anywhere, which he were before. He seems to be catching it. So we've got to give respect to the coaching team, really, because obviously he's improved. That is a massive improvement from what he was doing last season. Because even this season, he did a punch which led to a goal, if you can remember at the beginning. But I think, I think he's improved massively with his catching, and I think that takes the pressure off the defenders. They're actually starting to trust him a bit more. And I think you've got to praise Dawson because he has come in for a lot of stick.
Yeah.
Me included, we've all given him stick. And I think he's probably been, if you were to pick out a most improved player, I would give it Cam Dawson. Because I think out of everybody with the ceiling and level that was at before, I think his ceiling's gone higher than what he was playing. And I think, again, at the weekend, he's got another clean sheet. And I think everything he did, I was a bit annoyed with him at the free kick because that was in the first half. It was a feeble free kick. He could have actually, if he'd have stood there, could have just caught it, but he kind of tried to push it and make it look like a world save.
The one the left footer took for them, Connell.
Yeah, and then they got a corner from it, and I thought if we concede from that corner, I'm going to be fuming because that was no need for that. It was like a Hollywood sort of dive, and it was simple. He could have really just caught it. But yeah, I think Dawson, I kind of agree. I would say an 8. What about you, Tom?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was man of the match by any stretch of the imagination, but I do agree with Bez. He relieved pressure. And you know what? He's kept, back-to-back clean sheets now. So, look, if you don't concede, all you have to do is score, and then you win games. Simple as that. I know I sound a bit like Mike Lowe there, but fair play to Cam Dawson. He was not my man of the match, but you know what? Fair play to the lad, definitely.
Super. Kelly Four Bobs. That's okay, chaps. But who would you play in place of the midfielders you're talking about?
Well, Kelly, we're not talking about midfielders. We're talking about McWilliams, who's a midfield who played at right wing back, and Joe Powell, who's a midfield who played at left wing back. We're talking about them. So I'd rather play James and Hall is what I'd rather do. I assume you agree, Lee?
Yeah, I would do that. I don't think saying that. I mean, Powell did play well previously in that position, but I think it's not too bad doing it against Barnsley because they're quite a poor team. But if you're doing it against the Bolton, I think it could cause you problems defensively. You get away with it against sort of Barnsleys and Mansfields and things like that. But against your Boltons, your Cardiffs, I think that's where it kind of gets exposed. But yeah, I mean, I just think for me, our best three midfielders are Benson, Spence, and Gore. They're my three midfielders that I would be first names on the team sheet for me every single week, if fit, obviously. So on to the defence. Rafferty, he got a 6.6. Are we happy with that, guys? Or do you think he did better? Or I think his leadership is standing out a lot better. There's a lot of togetherness with the team, which I've noticed recently. That comes with winning games, obviously. But I do think Rafferty is very important to the mentality of the team. I think he has got that bit of experience.
I think he's a good captain, Lee. I think he's a good captain. He's a talker. I think he's been played out of position again. He ain't the centre half, but you know what? He's done some good things the last few weeks. He's put balls into the box. He's probably when I look at the whole team as a whole, yeah, I kind of get why he is captain. So yeah, good talker. 6.6 rating. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Why not?
Kelly Four Bob says James and Hall were coming back from injury. Do you change a winning side?
Yes.
Let's do that one for you, guys.
You need to be proactive, not reactive for starters. If they weren't fit, then that's fair enough. But it still doesn't answer why Benson were playing on the left wing as well. That's another issue I had.
This always frustrates me with Rotherham fans is everybody assumes that the players on the bench are not fit. I'm sure said he would never play a player if they're not fully fit, even if they're on the bench. He will manage minutes, which every manager does, because obviously you don't want to rush them back. That's why obviously Nombe's been sort of starting off the bench, because obviously you don't want to rush him. But they are fully fit.
Okay.
It's nonsense to say they're not fully fit. The professional footballers, and I believe if you're sat on that bench, you're fully fit to play if required. I just don't like the fact that they're not fully fit. So they might not be match fit, that's a different story, but they are fully fit. Otherwise, the medical team wouldn't allow them on the bench at all. That's just fact.
If that's the case, then I'd have started with James and Hall then, personally.
Because we've had it before where I think it's put in there injury or illness, but we've had it before with illness. So Hall was ill and they sent him home. They wouldn't even put him on the bench. Yeah. So
that injury or illness is referring to Rafferty. So just Rafferty, he actually was awful on Saturday. Like at the game, he was really struggling, and you could tell he weren't very well, and that's why he got brought off, and that's why he got a really low rating. So yeah, he did really struggle.
I haven't said they're not fit. No, I didn't say. You said it. Bez said it earlier in the show. He mentioned that he didn't think they were fully fit on the bench. So that's where I came with that one. On to Zach Jules. He got a 7.1. We're happy with that one?
Yeah, I think
solid,
both.
pretty
The
solid.
two. Go on, Tom. Go on, Tom.
Nah, yeah, he's pretty solid, to be fair. Probably one of his best performances this season, to be honest with you. Yeah, what we need is consistency in this team. We need partnerships, like in the good old days. And I thought he was all right. I think he's deserving of his 7.1 rating. I think he's maybe mugged off a little bit there. I'd have rated him a bit higher, but do you know what? Fair play to him. He's putting the effort in and he's playing for his manager, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. Both Jules and Baptiste played well for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and Baptiste, young player, but he's for me, he's doing really well. I never fall in love with a lone player, but could fall in love with two, Dango and Baptiste. I mean, Baptiste has been a lot better recently. He looked a bit iffy when he first come in, but you're going to get that with young players, aren't you? But I think he's really come of age in that role. I don't know about you, Bez. What do you think?
No, I agree. I felt that I felt there was a good game, always a good game in him. But like you said, he was so inconsistent. Like 1 minute he'd be good, and then the next game he'd really struggle and make mistakes. And I think since the winning, his consistency has been really good. I tell you what, though, you don't get in my starting 11 though if everyone's fit. Don't get him. I won't play him.
Would you play ahead of him?
Mike, obviously, you've got to pick 3 centre-backs. So Holmes is obviously number 1, 100%. I'd go Raggett at number 2. And then I'd probably go Jules now, mainly because he's left-footed, so he can find that left-hand side. So, yeah, that's what I'd go.
So who's your back 3? Jules, Raggett.
And Holmes, Tom Holmes. Yeah, from Luton, Luton lad.
Yeah.
What about you? What was your 3 then, Lee? If they were all fit?
I would probably have Lenny Agbear.
I forgot about him. I'm swapping Lenny for Jules. Lenny's in for Jules.
Tom Holmes and Baptiste.
Interesting.
I think Baptiste and Lenny can actually play, and I think they fit this formation better than I think. Raggett is good for heading and kicking and all that type of stuff, but I think you're going to be susceptible to pace over the top with him in this team.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And I just think every time I've seen Raggett play, it looks like he's running in treacle. So I'm not confident with him in the team. I know he's done well at this level before, but he just seems to get injured all the time. So I personally wouldn't play Raggett. I don't think you can drop Baptiste with the way he's playing. And the actual how he brings the ball out from the back it's very good. How he brings the ball out from the back. And with him, Lenny Agbear, you've got massive pace across the back line, and all of them can play from the back as well. So I would go with that. Kelly Forbob says I wouldn't start Raggett. Scott Kent says no pace with Raggett. And Holmes, it's either one or the other. So he's saying one or the other between Raggett and Holmes.
What it does prove is look how much depth we've got. You know, I reckon all 3 of us could name probably 6 different defenders who are in our starting 11. So look at the depth we've got is really good. And again, this is the reason why I feel this team should be aiming for that top 6. The team's good enough for that, especially with the league being so poor.
Yeah. So onto the midfield. Martha got 6.7. This guy frustrates me a bit. He's got all the ability in the world, but I don't actually know what he does really well.
I think he's definitely got tricks up his sleeve and stuff, but he doesn't help him that he's playing in a different position every single game. Like, he started at left wing back when he came to the club. He's played at number 10. He's played like right wing, left wing. He's played as a striker. I think we need to just say, right, that's your position. You stick there. Now, with this sort of player, you're going to have to accept that he's going to lose the ball a lot because naturally these skillful wingers do. So I think it's a case of giving him a bit of a chance, let him do what he wants to do in terms of trying to beat a player and take it from there. Don't forget he scored that good goal against Barnsley in the cup. That was acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, I do like him, but he just frustrates me. I just think he's got so much ability, but he never seems to make the right choice when he's got the ball. He always seems to want to beat a man again or do something really silly and cut inside when it were easier to just whip a ball in. Tom, what do you think of Martha?
I think with Martha, it's a really strange one. He's somebody that you can't coach. I don't think he's probably uncoachable in that sense. You have to find, and I agree with Bez, you need to give him that position and say, listen, Ajani, that's your position, mate. You go and do what you need to do, right?
You know who he reminds me of, Tom?
Chio.
Do you know who he reminds me of?
Who?
Can you remember we had a Jamal Campbell-Rice?
You can say that.
Yeah. He went
He
to
reminds me of him.
He went to Motherwell, Jamal Campbell-Rice, didn't he?
He was a great player, but
he
just flattered to deceive. Like
I know, but
It was Jamaican money. Jamaican. It was Jamaican money.
Well, Jamal Campbell-Rice had a decent career in the Championship in the end, though, to be fair to him.
No, I'm saying it. Yeah, Jamal Campbell-Rice. I love Jamal Campbell-Rice.
Yeah.
I think when we literally, because he was at Chesterfield, weren't he? And he were absolutely unplayable.
Yeah, we signed him from Chesterfield, yeah.
We took him off them. I was absolutely buzzing when we signed him. But
Same.
Flattered to deceive at times. Apparently, Port Vale are getting hammered 3-0 after 30 minutes against
Stockport.
Yeah, that's a shock. So on to McWilliams. He had a steady game, 7.3. I can't believe he scored a higher score than Dango. That is just criminal.
I know, but I mean, I tell you what, Mick Williams goes under the radar. I think he does the dirty stuff well, and you know what? He's all right. I rate him. I do rate him. I really do.
Yeah, I like Mick Williams. He's a good player. I think he offers us something that we don't seem to have with a lot of the others. Saying that Dango does get stuck in more than you think to say.
He does, yeah.
Player he is, but other than sort of Dango and McWilliams, we haven't really got that man that really gets stuck in. But Spence has been doing it as well now. So now we've kind of got three in there that are starting to put a foot in. And you can see a difference. There seems to be now a spirit to this team. And as much as what we're saying, people are saying they still don't rate Hamshaw, his tactics still aren't great. What I would say is I think every one of them players are playing for him.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
That's important because any team, if they lose the dressing room, it's game over. And had he lost the dressing room, we'd have lost them couple of games what we've won, and they probably got the sack because they'd have let it happen. But I think the players kind of clubbed together, and you can see when they scored, and at the end, they generally want to win for him. So I don't think we can question that regarding Matt Hamshaw. You can question whether you think he's tactically right for it, but you can only go on what we've done. We've won the last 3 or 4 games, so we can't be turning on the manager. I think as Rotherham United fans now, I think we need to try and stick together and say, look, we give him the time. See, like you said, Tom, see where we are at Christmas and then assess it from there. But as things stand, this team could easily get promoted. That's how bad the league is. Like, people might laugh now and say, but I generally feel we could get promoted this season. Because I think the league is that bad. I don't think we're that good. But I think we're going to keep gradually getting better as the team gels. And we're grinding out results. That's the sign of a team that gets promoted for me. Those performances, if you remember back under Paul Ward, there were loads of away games that you went to and thought we played crap there and we won 1-0 or 2-0 or 2-1. There was a lot. I get what you're saying. We had lots of better games where we absolutely thrashed teams as well. But that won't always come. But hopefully these next few home games, we are better at home as well. So we may give a couple of teams a good spanking. And I think the team, that's what we need next. So now we've seen the desire, we've seen the passion playing together. We need to see this team absolutely tear a team apart. And then I may be back on side with Hampshire.
Lee, what I will say is, right, Hampshire does not want to make the mistake of resting players for these next 4 games, in my opinion. Need to make a statement. Need to smash Man City under 21s tomorrow, right? Warney did it. We beat them, was it 5-0? I think it was when we played them.
Yeah, they've been losing most games 5 or 6-0, haven't they, the under 21s?
So then we need to make a statement against Swindon. Go and smash them. It's the FA Cup. And then against Burton, smash them. And then against Lincoln, smash them. And that'll get teams fearing us.
Yeah.
This is a key point of the season for me, personally.
Yeah, I agree with you, Tom, totally. Scott Kent says, people are starting to see what I said about the league. It's absolutely honking this season. Absolutely. I mean, when you've got teams like Stevenage, the other team that are up there, Bradford, all these teams, Lincoln, you know, it's a poor league. And Rotherham in this league, we're like kind of the Man United of League One, really. We're the big boys. So, we should be looking to win more than we lose at this level, always. On to next, Cian Spence, the goal scorer. He got 7.8, second highest score. I think that's more for the goal, but I do think I'm really impressed with this guy. I seen him in pre-season and I thought this guy's going to be class. Then he got injured, but he's only young as well, isn't he? He's not old either, is he? So I think he's going to be, and his hours is not on loan like Dan Gore. So I think this boy can make us some good money in the future as well, because I think he is a player that can step up from League One to the Championship. I think he can. He's done it from the next league. I think we got it from Barrow, league below. He stepped up to the League One with no danger at all. And I think this guy's levels will probably improve as he gets higher. I think his ceiling is of a Championship footballer. I don't know about you two. What do you two think about Cian Spence?
Well, I don't know who it was, but someone on our podcast did have a bit of a laugh at Cian Spence. So someone said that obviously he was in the EFL League 2 team of the year last year, and then someone else responded by laughing and saying, like, you know, sarcastically saying, well done to him, blah, blah, blah. So he obviously wasn't very popular at the start of the season. And I have to say, it's taken him a few games to get into it. He does remind me of like a Lee Freckington, I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying he's as good as Lee Freckington, but he does remind me of that. And I think you're right. He got the highest mark because he scored a very good goal. Obviously, we'll come on to goal later. Look, we all know goal. We're probably man at match. And just quickly on McWilliams, he deserves a high score because he was out of position, and I thought McWilliams was very good, actually. He was almost my man at match behind goal, actually, McWilliams, because their winger, he was their best player, their winger, and I thought McWilliams did really well to combat him. That's what I thought on Spence as well, anyway.
What about you, Tom? What do you think of Cian Spence?
I think Cian Spence, I think he started slowly with us, didn't he? But then he scored that absolute banger against Oldham, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which I agree with. Bez saves Mr. Hampshire's job, right? He's got that in his locker, hasn't he? He's got one. He's got a worldie in his locker, and the technique's fantastic. Actually, I watch it back. If you watch it back from like the back of it, it literally the way he hits it. It's one of them. It curls out and then comes back in. No keeper's going to save it. It's a fantastic bit of technique, and do you know what? Happy days. We've got somebody in the midfield, like Bez says, is a little bit like Frex, isn't he? So look, I'm all for it. Positive Miller tonight. We're all positive, aren't we? We're all happy
clapping. On to my man of the match. I would have given him 9 out of 10. I think if that volley goes in that hits the top of the bar, he gets 10 out of 10 because that would have been technique and off. Dango, mate. What an absolute ball.
Let me ask you, Lee, right? So what was the one thing that Dango did in the game to make you think, wow, what a player he is? Like, what was it?
Just the way, like I said in that second half, he sent Dizzy back to Sheffield United. He was backed into a corner and he did one turn and took. Dizzy he's still in Barnsley now looking for the football. I tell you now, he's still sat there. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Mate, he was on. And then, you know, when he just picks the ball, he just glides with it. It's like, he just, and the amount of times he got fouled was absolutely, they could not live with him.
I really agree with that, yeah.
They were kicking lumps out of him. And that's why the game was stop, start.
Yeah.
I think they ended up with 4 bookings just on Dango. I think 4 separate players got booked for fouls on Dango because he was just gliding past them like they weren't even there. It's like he was playing in the school playground with them. And like I say, he sent Dizzy back to Sheffield United. He was just gliding around the pitch like just head and shoulders above anything at this level. And I think if you don't see that, you're not watching the proper game of football because his control, his technique, the way he just picks up and turns, and it's all in a one sharp movement. He's gone. They don't even know he's there. That he's gone. And then before you know it, they're hacking him down because. And what I really like about him is because he's that skillful, he's that good. You think. Surely, and he's at Man United. You think he's not going to get stuck in? That kid gets stuck in, like he was born in Romarsh. Do you know what I mean? He's like sort of. He's like if you, I don't know. You just say you had Ben Wiles, but you give him a super power. You turn him into Dango.
Yeah,
he's like a local lad. But way better than anything we've produced through our academy. Do you know what I mean?
You've touched on it as well. The one thing that I love about him is one of the only players I've ever known at Rotherham who can take the ball under pressure. So, he'll have 2 men around him and he'll still take the ball. And like you said, he'll do some sort of turn and he'll be away from them 2 players. If he's not away, it's because he's being fouled. And that's what I like about him. He's too good for us, really.
And he wants, just to say he's young, he wants the ball under pressure. Yeah. If he could have 3 players on him, he'll still be saying to the player, put the ball into my feet. Because he's confident that these Muppets from Barnsley are not going to get near him. Like, they're not on his level. Do you know what I mean? Poor Dizzy, honestly, mate, I felt sorry for him. He turned him into a 150-year-old man on the pitch. I was like, flipping heck, he's going to get his pension at the end of the game because he retired him. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant. For me, he was the man of the match.
One thing that Rotherham fans have to be there with him is because of the way he is and the way he plays and the way, I agree with you, he takes the ball whenever he can. He is going to make mistakes and he's going to lose the ball every now and then because every good midfielder who wants the ball does. So I want to make sure that Rotherham fans, if he does lose the ball and it, ends up being a chance for the opposition team, then please be patient with him because he's still only 21. So he's going to make those sort of errors. And I agree, my match as well.
Yeah. Kelly Forbob's goal was outstanding. He's lovely. He's loving playing for us too. Yeah. I think he's enjoying himself. Scott Kent, he controlled the midfield like a League One Rotherham. Fair play. He did control that midfield.
Good signing, weren't it, by I'm sure that one.
Yeah, I've said it from day one. Goal is too good for this team and this league. Well, yeah, I'm sure signed him, but I think Steve Evans scouted him. He signed him
I'm
first.
joking. It was an Evans signing. Yeah, I'm trying to be funny. Yeah.
But whoever signed him, mate, it don't matter, does it? He is absolutely an absolute baller. Enjoy him because I don't think we'll get him permanently. But I never thought we'd get Dan Barlasser permanently. So hopefully, if we get him permanently, I will be over the moon because I think he is a fantastic player.
Do you think he'll be here beyond January? Sorry, Lee. Do you think he'll be here beyond January, yes or no?
I think if we're pushing the playoffs, they'll let him stay. I think if we're mid-table, they'll probably recall him and send him to a championship team. But I think if we're pushing, like I think, as Tom said earlier, I think these next 4 or 5 games are massive. So if we go and win the next 4 or 5 games and we're hitting the top half of the table and knocking on the playoffs or the top half of the table, I think Man United will say stay. Because before we signed him, Manchester United was open to selling him because he's out of contract at the end of the season. I know somebody that works at the Manchester United Academy, and he said that they don't really see a future. They'll probably give him another deal so they can sell him. But he said when Rotherham come in for him, they actually said, did they want to take him permanently? I don't think.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think Rotherham was more looking for the loan. But I think, like I said, the issue is he keeps playing that well. One of the teams with bigger money will come in for him. I think he'll end up in the Championship. I think Man U will give him a new contract, so they get a bigger fee for him. He'll go for around probably 1.5–2 million, and we'll have no chance. But hopefully I'm wrong, and we sign him and we keep him forever. Joe Powell, I thought he struggled a little bit this game. Not his usual self. His delivery was poor at times again. I think he needs to drop out for me. I think he is struggling. I think he just needs a rest and a kick up the backside and just get him back on form. Tom, what about yourself? What do you think with Powell? Do you think he's in need of a rest, or would you just keep him? We're winning, keep him in there.
No. I think obviously because we are winning, but sometimes you need to hunt for a bit of perfection, don't you? So you don't necessarily keep the parts of the team that make you win. You try and better it, don't you? Because look, we ain't winning convincingly. We have not won a game convincingly yet this season, have we? Would we all agree on that?
I'd say Northampton, it was convincing myself. I'd say that.
Yeah, but when I say convincingly, like 3-0, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, then I agree with you then, yeah.
Well, I don't think we've really, like I said, I want to see this team absolute tear apart a team. 3 or 4, 5-0. That's what champions do. That's what teams that get promoted
and I think
do.
we've got that opportunity in the next 4 games, Lee. I think we can rip apart the next 4 teams. Rip apart those next 4 teams. Confidence builds. Fans get excited. Let's have it. Joe Powell, don't get me wrong. I think there's a player there. There is a player there, right? However, yes, I do think that maybe we should try something else. But it'd maybe help him if he was not dropped, but put to the bench. It'd make him hungrier, wouldn't it? To come and show what he can actually do. Yeah. So that's
it also shows as well how strong we are, because last season Joe Powell was arguably our best player, and now we're all saying he shouldn't be starting 11. He's not good enough. That just shows again how much quality we've got in the squad, in my opinion.
Well, he needs a bit of hunger as Joe. I mean, I know he's a new dad. as was Dango, right? We've all got kids, haven't we? Do you know what I mean? You take you off the ball, no pun intended. But I mean, listen, I think that Joe just needs maybe a couple of games on that bench to get that hunger back, because I think he's a quality player. I genuinely do believe that. And he is being played out of position again. But some might argue left wing back is his position. But, listen, I think a bit of a rest for Joe. Let's see who else can do. And, maybe give Joe a kick up the arse and see what he can do.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this sort of second half of the season as well. So I can't wait to play like a Barnsley at home, because we played a lot of away games. So Mansfield away. I want to play Mansfield at home, Barnsley at home, Doncaster at home. I think we can splatter them teams 3 or 4-0 at home. I think we will absolutely pound them teams, because they are not good teams. That Muppet, I'm from Barnsley, lad. You know him? That is he called Callum, whatever he's called, yeah? Absolute spunk bubble, yeah? The guy thinks Barnsley's going to finish in the top 6. Absolutely. The guy's obviously getting too many donations off broke Barnsley people. And he's like spunking himself off, thinking Barnsley are going to finish 6th. But I tell you now, if Barnsley finish 6th, Tom, you can do the show in naked, mate.
What's that?
And I don't want to see that, because I know it's going to happen. Barnsley are not finishing in the top 6. Bookmark it. Do whatever you want to do. They are absolutely pony. Yeah, they are not finishing in the top 6. So give your donations to somebody else. Don't buy that little spunk bubble his house, because that's all he's after. A little bit of clickbait. Anyway, on to Benson. Another one who I thought was a little bit off it today. At Barnsley, I think he was a bit off it. Got substituted, playing a little bit out of position. I mean, the formation they've put on FootMob, he weren't playing there, were he?
He was playing left wing. He's playing left wing, Benson.
Yeah. So, Bez, what were your thoughts on Benson?
As I said, playing out of position, left wing. Didn't really get involved in game. I think he tried to, just didn't get involved. I did see a comment actually, which was interesting. Actually, I tell a lie. It was a call made to Radio Didar. So I was listening to Fraser Grumble on Saturday, and someone said they wondered if Benson was shaking a couple of challenges, because he's got this injury issue. Now, I didn't notice that at all, but I just wonder if that's why he weren't really in game, because you were a bit...
No, I think he does. He ain't a tackler. That in his game.
No, he's not, no.
I think I've seen him shirk challenges before when he's played really well. I don't think that's anything to go on. I just don't think Benson is the type that's going to get stuck in like Gore, Spencer, McWilliams. I just don't think he is. He's more technical. He's got a bit of quality about him. I don't think he's up for a battle. And I think that's why they took him off. I think the game were getting very... They were dirty.
They were
filthy. They were fouling all the time. Horrible team they was. And I think that's why they took him off, because I think they were worried that he was going to get a kick and a knock again and be out. So I think that's why, personally, they took him off. I don't think it was anything to do with shirking challenges. I just don't think the game suited his... Because it was rough and tumble in the middle.
South Yorkshire, at the end of the day, it's going to be aggressive. Maybe he shouldn't have started then.
No, but I think they were just hoping for some of his quality. But it just they weren't allowing our midfielders to play, and that's why I said Dango. That's how well he played, is because they targeted him. They were just fouling on him. Had he not been fouled, I think he'd have got more, probably an assist or even a goal, because he was just bursting through him like there wasn't there at times. And then on to Jordan Hugel. I thought it was one of his quieter games. I think, again, we've played that defensive and that deep throughout the game. I think you could put Lionel Messi up there and he's going to struggle because no service, no real play around the front. I think he did what he could. Standard. I mean, he got a 6.7, which is higher than Powell and higher than Benson and higher than Martha, higher than McWilliams. No, not higher than McWilliams, but yeah, higher than Martha and Powell. Yeah, I think that's about right. I think you were better than them couple of players. Weren't outstanding, but didn't have much service, so it's a difficult sort of game. So we go on to the league table. So now Rotherham are up to 15th. When I move these banners, because you can't see us. Up to 15th. 1 point behind Barnsley. 1 point behind Doncaster with a game in hand. Yeah, we're not far off now, are we? Hitting that top sort of 7. Mansfield are only on 19 points. We're only on 17. So, like I said, these are some very big weeks coming.
Massive.
Yeah, well, what I would say, look at the top 7 there, because you're almost saying that top 7 are pulling away already because there's a 4-point gap in there between 7th and 8th. So we can't really afford to drop, I'd say, 8 points adrift of the playoffs.
What I would say is I'll break it down from the top up. Yeah, Cardiff City, I think they're better than us.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah,
I'd say they're better than us currently. Stevenage, I think we've got a better squad, better players. Yeah. We should finish above Stevenage. We should also finish above Bradford because I think we've got better players and a better squad than Bradford. Stockport, I think they're very similar on level to us, so they could finish above us. We could finish above them. Wimbledon, don't know how they're 5th. They're absolute pony. We should definitely finish above them. Lincoln, they're another team, absolute pony. We should finish above them. Bolton, I think they're a good side. I think they're probably slightly a little bit better than us currently. So they may finish above us, but we're not a million miles away. Mansfield, pony. Huddersfield, probably I'd say on a similar level to us. Luton, I'd say probably a similar level to us. Barnsley, I'd say they're bottom 6. I think they should be they're not very good at all. Doncaster, I think they'll still get relegated. I think they're awful. Wigan, Orient, just middle of the road teams. Rotherham should be in the top 3. That's the way I break down that league. Anybody disagree with that?
No, Lee, I completely agree. I mean, the fact that Wimbledon and Bradford,
Wimbledon. I mean, what the hell is going on?
Even Lincoln in the top 6 of that league is mental. And obviously, the Chickens podcast, whatever they're called, 26. Right, we're 9 points off them. I bet him, didn't I? But anyway, listen. These next few games are going to, as Bez was saying, and yourself, are vital, right? We need to go and make a statement, right? We need to go and smash City under 21s tomorrow, smash Swindon, smash Burton, and bloody smash Lincoln. And then that's
Burton are actually the form team of the league. If you look at the form team, Burton are top.
And that's how pathetic it is, Lee, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely pathetic league. Bradford are shit. Sorry, Bradford are not very good. Stockport, Ollie Norwood's doing bits for them. Wimbledon, AFC Wimbledon, woo, whatever. Lincoln, Bolton should be annoyed that they're not even in the top 6. Mansfield, come on. Huddersfield should be annoyed. Luton, what a fall from grace. And Barnsley, probably, well, look, they're shit. So that's all we'll say. Right, so we'll leave it at that. And Doncaster.
They've got minus 6 goal difference, Doncaster, as well. and they've played a game more. So we've actually got a game in hand over them. So I think they're dropping like a stone, Doncaster. I think they will potentially get relegated.
These next
Right,
four
we're
games
coming
Lee,
towards
will
the
make
end
them very
of the
tough.
show. We're going to do tweet of the week. So just bear with me. I will get the first tweet of the week up. Just bear with me. So the first tweet of the week was from Charlie. One negative from the Barnsley away. Every time we go one up, can we stop singing "How shit must you be"? We're winning away. It's the most embarrassing thing, and it must drive the management team mad hearing that proper mong if you participate in it. Do you participate in that, Bez?
Yeah, well, to be fair, I actually agree with Charlie because you're winning the game, you've just scored, you're winning the game, and when you're singing that song, it's almost like, well, we're rubbish and we're singing we're rubbish. So I don't like it either. So sometimes I sing along with it and sometimes I don't. But I'd rather us not sing it. I agree with Charlie because it does make us. It makes us tin pot team. It's something I'd expect Doncaster to do or Barnsley to do, not Rotherham. So yeah, I don't like it. No.
Super. The next tweet is Fraz just watched a certain Barnsley fans video on our game. Can you guess what he says? It's worse than the prediction. So I think he's going on about Spallum.
Robbie's son, Robbie Fowler's son.
Yeah. So that Muppet is just looking for donations. So
just quickly on him, right? Just quickly on him. I as I said already, he definitely don't like Rotherham for some reason. I don't know what it is. He just don't like Rotherham. Is it because we don't there?
Good, Bez, because we don't fucking like Barnsley. The shit.
Well, I don't really care about Barnsley, to be honest.
Tony Healy replying to Paul Davis, I hope the lad has some people around him that are giving him good advice. I hope he has some qualifications to get a good job and play semi-pro. And I think that's in a reply to Coyote needs surgery. So, again, he's injured and needs surgery. So what are your thoughts on that, Bez?
That has got to be the worst signing in the history of the football club, that contract offer for Josh Coyote. I'm actually glad he's injured. I don't want him to play. He's not good enough to play anyway. Just release him. Just let him go. I mean, if we release him at the start...
He's got feelings, Bez.
Yeah, well, yeah. I've got feelings. When he plays and we lose, I've got bloody feelings. I think he's got
feelings.
The worst signing ever. That is for me.
Yeah, I mean, whoever thought it was a good idea to give him a contract? I mean, the guy is made out of Play-Doh, isn't he? Let's be honest. I mean, I've never seen him actually do anything that resembles a football player. He's the most bizarre character I've ever met. He looks like he'd be better suited to like a rap video or something. Giving it, yo, brother. You know what I mean? I think he's more suited to that.
Does he not sing the intro to KB Terrace Talk?
Yeah, that's him. I got him on there. No, he's injured. I thought I'd give him a job. I care about that. Bez done. He's not bothered. He just doesn't want him to play anymore. And I thought, well, the lad's out of work. I'll give him a bit of money on intro. He's done a bit of rapping for me.
You've got to get it. You've got to say it. Like, you know, when the video's rolling, you've got to add a caption which says "sung by Joshua Coyote." Now that would be class.
Definitely do that.
Yeah, but we've got to be careful, man, because the football club don't like me anyway, does it?
Just say sang by JJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got to be respectful to the guy's feelings. He's not a football player, and maybe one day I'll look after him and give him a good job.
What I would say though, we're having
McDonald's will.
We're having a laugh at him, but it's in that situation where if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So I feel you've got to laugh at the situation, really. It's
right. What I will say for JJ, he did score a vital goal against Wimbledon, who currently sat fourth in the table when we went up that season. So, JJ, I'm forever thankful for that 1-0 win.
Yeah.
Good lad.
Good lad, yeah. Like I say, I mean, he's done it, and he's. I think he's finished now with us. I can't see a way back. I think he only got a kind of pay as you play sort of deal, so I don't think he will be. He'll be the future of Rotherham United, which is sad for him because, like I say, it must be hard for him. With all jokes aside, he is a human being, and I guess
of course, yeah,
it must be tough. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to be injured, but I think I don't blame the player. That's one thing I don't do. I blame the club because I kind of think everybody in the fan base, when the contract was signed, were like, why have we even gone there? He ain't going to be fit. And everybody was saying, oh, you got to give him a chance. But I think everybody knew deep down, you do want it to work for the lad, but I just don't think he did enough to earn a contract. And I think you have to blame the people that have given him the contract for me. I think it's poor judgment on their part. I don't think the player was never going to turn it down, because I don't think he was getting...
Of course he wouldn't, no.
He was not getting offers all over the place. Yeah. Probably Parkgate may have given him an offer or something, but I don't think he'd had much chance of playing anywhere higher than League One, put it that way.
And when he does leave, I hope he has a good career. Like, he, you know, seriously, if you can get him...
like I said, there's no sort of bad feelings towards him. I know. Like I say, it's just sad that it hasn't worked out. Scott Kent says he's a League Two non-league player, to be fair, and I think he's probably right. Whenever I've watched him, it's same with a lot of the young lads we've brought through our academy, the McGuckins and players like that. I just don't see enough in them for this level. I think when the club don't invest in the academy, I don't know what you're expecting it to produce. You get out of what you put into an academy, and Tony Stewart puts very little into that academy, so it's producing very little.
That's reminding me. Have you seen McGuckin scored 2 goals?
Has it?
Yeah, he got 2 in 4, I think, which is obviously that's Conference Premier League, so National League.
So it's probably that. I think that is his level.
Well, yeah, if he's scoring goals at 19 at that level, he could definitely be a League Two player. So I think it's for him still.
Yeah, it could work. I mean, I never sort of Jerry Yates. Who would have thought he'd go on to have the career he had? Because he never really got a chance at Rotherham. People said he weren't nowhere near good enough, and he went to be a top-end Championship player. So sometimes the fans aren't always right. Me included, we can get it wrong, and hopefully, if I have with McGuckin, I hope he does well, because I have been told of quite a few people that he is a very nice lad. So you want him to do well. He's a local lad. You kind of want him to do well. Do you know what I mean? I think the last decent striker we had, Scott Kent says, from the academy was Will Hoskins.
He's our best ever. It's a fact that he's the best ever youth kind of that we've produced, I think, because he's gone for something like £3 million in his career in total. So
I think Jerry Yates went for more though, didn't he?
Maybe. Well, Hoskins had 2 over £1 million moves there, didn't he? He had one to Watford. And one
he had a few.
He's had one. I think he's only had one move. Like, what's money worth? What's loads of money anyway?
I thought
we'll have to have a look.
Yeah, I also think the best player for me from our academy would be Chris Sedgwick for me.
Agreed. Well, just on that, Hoskins v Jerry Yates, if you could have one in their prime, who would you pick out of them two?
I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah, do that, yeah. Hoskins is my favourite ever Rotherham player, so I'd have to pick him.
I would go. Well, we'll do it now. Tom.
At Rotherham, Hoskins every day of the week. At Rotherham, though. So
Yeah.
The question wasn't that though, Tom. The question was, who would you take in their prime? Hoskins or Yates? Yeah.
Will Hoskins.
I would say Hoskins. Didn't he end up playing for Watford in the Premier League?
Watford.
Watford and Brighton in Premier League, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would go Hoskins. Because Scott Kent says Hoskins every day of the week. So, yeah, Hoskins. I'll give you another one, though. In the prime, Hoskins or Chris Sedgwick?
Sedgwick.
I don't know. Sedgwick never played in the Premier League, though.
No, but he was a tricky
one.
I think he was the boy longer for consistent in the Championship.
Yeah,
well. He was a phenomenal player.
Sedgwick's my boy.
He was. The question is, who would you rather have in their prime? Hoskins would get you 25 goals a year, though. That's a tough question for me. That.
Sedgwick. It's Sedgwick. Of course, it's Sedgwick, Bez.
No, Hoskins in Premier League. I think Hoskins. I'm going Hoskins.
Opinions, isn't it?
I'll give you another one from his academy. Ben Wiles.
Yeah.
Or I'm trying to think the other guy, Andy Monkhouse.
Wiles. Wiles. Definitely Wiles.
Yeah, I think I'm going Wiles. Yeah.
I did like Andy Monkhouse, though. I'm not going to lie, but he just flattered his youth.
Yeah, I'd go Wiles as well. Yeah.
Scott Kent says it's hardly one really because Sedgwick was a winger, so it's hard to choose.
Yeah, they're in different. Yeah. What you should do, Lee, is we should try and find like 10 youngsters who have played Football League and then do on Twitter, a competition where it's Hoskins v Yates, then it's Sedgwick versus Wiles, and see who wins. That's what I'd do on your Twitter page. Yeah, in fact, I'll create it for you. I'll create it.
Yeah, create it and I'll do it.
Yeah, okay.
So we're coming to the end of the show. Thank you for everybody watching. Thank you for everybody in the chat. We will be back. What day are we?
Monday.
It's Monday, isn't it? We'll be back.
You're back Thursday.
Thursday, yeah, for the Premier League show. I need to speak to you after this, Bez, so stay on as well.
Okay, yeah.
Chat to you. Yeah, so please like, share, and subscribe, and we will be back again on Thursday for the Premier League. Thank you for watching.
Cheers up the Millers.